Good evening, and it's another Saturday night, and it can only mean one thing. It is the All Four Back podcast, back another week for episode 83. Obviously, I'm back again as host, and we are joined back with Chester, who's rejoined us this week. Good evening.
Good evening, Tank. How are you doing, mate?
Hill, good, thank you. Good to have you back. And as always,
Thanks, mate. Glad to be back.
And as always, good to have Hadlington with us tonight. Good evening.
Good evening, Tank.
And we're also joined, as always, by Shaz. Good evening.
DJ Bubbles, how are you doing?
I'm okay, yeah. Always blowing bubbles, me. On tonight's show, we have the Reserve Riders Championship review. We have an interview with the Reserve Riders champion Heppell. We will also have an in-depth interview with Heppell shortly in the show with regards to mental health and talking because it's okay to talk. That's a very important topic to talk about. Then we shall have On This Day with Shads, and then we shall have the previews of Wolves versus Cowboys, Spartans versus Panthers, Dragons versus Storm, and then to finish off we'll have the VGP round 3. There's a round change, the draw, and then a quick look at the race card. And then we shall have the SCS round 3. There's a round change there as well, along with a wildcard announcement, the draw, and then a quick look. We'll go into depth with the BGP in the SCS on next week's show. We go into the only meeting that was on this week, which was the Reserve Riders Championship, and well, what a meeting it actually was. We unfortunately lost one rider prior to the meeting in Riso 2, who had a power cut, which meant as a result Tintin was drafted in at the last minute. And but as you can see, we did actually, with me not riding and that being the reigning champion, and that we had a new one, and what a final it was. And it was actually won by our guest, which we'll bring in shortly, and that Mr. Heppell. And he definitely was pleased to win it, and we can see the instant reaction that he gave as soon as he won it.
I'm sorry, but it has to be said, man. Let's freaking go, boys! Come on! Oh my days! Hadlin, you should have won that, man. Honestly, I feel bad because you've been so good all night, but oh my god! Yes!
So, very much a very happy Heppell. So, let's get into it. So, Hadlington, obviously, I come to you first. You rode brilliantly all night and got straight through to the final, and you were just picked on the line by Heppell. It was a very good night for yourself.
Yeah, pretty proud of that performance, to be fair. I'm still waiting for Shads to tell me if it's a maximum or not. We've had the last race.
Not a maximum.
I thought you might say that. No, to get 15 straight through to the final, I mean, obviously the final was a cracking race. We'll get onto that shortly with Heppell. But the race I had before with Heppell and the JC in Heat 18, I think that was definitely on par with the final. That was another really good race, and somehow I managed to sneak through and get the win in that one, get to the final, and obviously it was up against JC and Heppell again in the final, and Heppell made good use of that outside line, shall we say. 0.013, was it, Tank?
It was indeed, yeah. I think that's the closest finish we've had for some time as well. I mean, it was definitely a meeting where that final was. It was like you were just all inside and Heppell was all outside, and I knew it was going to be close, but you were both nailing where you were comfortable, and there was just Well, it was a joy to watch in real time. To be fair, it felt harsh in one way that one of you had to lose out on winning because you both rode brilliantly. But yeah, obviously for you, Shads, you had a decent night. Well, relatively, you scored 6 points and you rode quite well throughout. What was your take on the meeting?
Not happy, but I didn't expect much, to be honest with you. Practicing in the week with some of the guys, I wasn't really fast enough. I was just sticking to the inside mainly because obviously now the fence boost has been removed. It sort of like made the inside a little bit. Well, it made the inside and the outside quite close, whereas the outside was always the faster line. If you hit that slight boost on the straights, but obviously not now. Gating was rubbish again. I mean, I won my first race. Then after that, it was pretty rubbish. But I wasn't expecting much, to be honest. I quite enjoyed watching the chat, as it was going. And story has, but I was rooting for Heppell in the final, even though I'd left chat straight after my last race out of pure frustration, but came back for the business at the end. Obviously, Heppell being a pal and teammate, I was rooting for him. Anyone but JC. That was my motto.
Yeah, it was. I mean, at one point I actually thought you actually would make it into the semi-final. To be fair, because you started well, and as you say with the win. I think you got very unlucky in the last two. So who knows? Next season actually might be yours.
I think the draw didn't really help me that much. With the poor gating, having to go from gates 4 to the inside, which I was planning on doing, just riding the inside all night. I couldn't quite get that outside right. I think first 3 races okay, and then after that it just fell off a cliff really. But I've got to say there were some really good performances. Capesy obviously done a lot better than he's been doing in the league this year. He rode really well. Le Sorcier, Badger, yourself, Hadlington, JC, and of course Heppell. But it was I'd say it was an unexpected winner. Would everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Everyone was looking at JC, obviously, being and yourself, Hads, with your average this season. I don't think many people would have predicted Heppell had put, those sort of races together. I mean, he wasn't, he didn't win his first 2 races. He sort of came good towards the end and did enough to get into the semi-final. Didn't even win his semi-final, but I don't think he probably had the last choice of Gates, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he had the last choice of Gates as well. So fair play. He had his plan and he stuck to it.
Yeah, pretty much had a smiles with me, and that did enough to get to the semi-final, get to the final.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, and I would agree. It was definitely an unexpected winner, but a very pleasing one as well at the same time. Chester, obviously you didn't have the best of meetings, only scoring 3 points, but obviously during the actual meeting, watching it, you did look actually quite decent. It was just unfortunate with obviously with all the action that was going on. Obviously, most of it was on the inside, with only a few like Heppell, I think Rico, and and there was someone else that was using the outside, and that otherwise it was more on the inside. But it wasn't so much of a great night for you on that looking for scores.
No, it just didn't go right from the word go, really. I had the favoured gates in my last 3 rides, and I thought, here's my chance to get some decent decent meetings or decent rides in, and it didn't go right. I was seeing like the guys going around the outside, tried to follow him, and then in my next race I tried and do it myself and just wouldn't work, and then just like gate turn 3 and 4, middle of the track graveyard kind of stopped me dead, and that's how I lost it to Tintin in the last race. I know I'd third covered and just lost it on the line, so it was a disappointing night. At least this time I had a bit more chance to prepare than earlier in the season. In the last RRC I was in, and scored a few more points as well actually in this one rather than 1 point in my last one. But yeah, it was just a disappointing night overall. I'm not really an individual kind of person. I sort of tend to stick with like the team aspects of things. Hence why I sort of not go for the BGP or SCS matches. So this was just like see what happens, and to be fair, nothing did happen. So, but I mean, I've constantly scored in every match I've been in since I've come back. I've not had an Audi score. So there's that to be proud of. But yeah, it was just a disappointing night overall, to say the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely pile in the points as you've shown in the league. You've done it, obviously, at Milton Keynes. So you've got it in the locker. It's just obviously getting yourself into that race mindset to actually do it each time consistently.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I say Hadlington, you were superb that night. Everything you did was completely spot on. And even Shad's, you as well, mate. I mean, you had a couple of slips, but you were scoring, consistently. But like all riders were taking part. Congratulations to you all for putting on a good show. And of course, our guest Heppell. What a last race! What a last run to the line! It was great.
And also in this meeting, which was nice because the BLRC is at a different track later in the season. This was an opportunity for the lower end of each team, and that to obviously grab one of the available track records as well, as now they've been reset, and it had actually been obviously got in the first, from memory, the first 3 heats, so heat 1, 2 and 3, and that it just got quicker, and then we had nothing until I think it was the latter part of the meeting, and then you've got to hand it to Badger Racing, and that to come out and in a semi-final and to actually get that race time of 40.475. I mean, he gated and he was gone. And to put it on levels with what I was told, Speedy did say to me that he was hitting 40.3 inside or outside. So, I mean, do that and get near to what Speed was doing, which you'd expect the top ends to do maybe even quicker than a 0.3, depending. Stefan might do quicker than that, but it's a decent time to have. So it's something that that Badger could obviously hold on to from the meeting that he took away from the meeting himself. But it was, I mean, overall, it was. I would go as far to say it's probably been that was the most enjoyable meeting in terms of the banter in chat and the racing. Because I can't think of any one race where it was a foregone conclusion and it just went right. I enjoyed it. More should be like that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
We shall bring in our guest for this evening, and that the Reserve Riders Champion, and that good evening, Heppell.
How you doing, boys? You alright?
Yeah.
How you doing, Hap?
Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Heppell.
How you doing, man? I'm good. Champion, absolute champion,
Literally.
Yes.
So
Thank you. I think he's quite pleased.
yeah, so as you and that your instant reaction after the meeting, and that you were very pleased and that to have won it. Talk us through the meeting from your perspective.
It was a funny one, to be fair. So you didn't tell me you were putting that in, by the way. Oh my days!
No.
I was shocked when I
Gotcha.
heard it. That's the first time I've heard it back since. I was pretty excited, like, wow. Did not expect that. Anyway, so from my point of view, I think it was one of those. You look at the race card. There wasn't. I'll be honest with you, and I don't know how. Don't really want to say this out too loud, but the practice that I did before the meeting had to have been around about maybe 30 to 40 races, if that. I turned up late. I can't remember what I was doing, to be fair, on that day, but I turned up a little bit late for the start. I wanted to be there, for an hour or two beforehand. So I fancied myself for the meeting. Looking at the riders around me, I knew, your likes of your JCs, your Haddingtons, Shads has been on fire as well. And, I didn't expect Capesy to be as strong as he was during the meeting. And I was like, I've got a chance, I've got a chance. And as the meeting progressed, as you guys said, I was just, I don't know, I went on the outside. I got told the outside wasn't really working. I was like, I remember my Phoenix days at S14, and I was like, surely it's got to be there. There's something there. And I just found it. You know what I mean? I was just reliving that memory of going, up into that patch on 2, stick it wide on the back straight, chuck it in, go deep, run wide, and I just had a lot of fun with it. I remember sitting after I got through the semis, I thought, that's going to be close. This, I think, was it 4 or 5 people turned down 11, didn't it? Or was it all of us?
Or
Apart
everyone,
from,
I think, wasn't it?
I think it was,
All the semi-finalists, I think, had 11 points, didn't they?
I think apart from they did. Yeah, all of the semi-finals did, because you had them. You had the max that wasn't a max. You've got JC was on 12. And then it was the rest of us on 11. I remember I was sitting there after I got through, lucky to get through the semis, by the way, because Lesorcia, I think it was it Lesorcia was in there with me? He hit the grass and pretty much knocked Capesy off a little bit, which allowed me to get that boost around the outside. And as soon as I was away, I was like, Badger, I'm not touching. Fair play, like unbelievable ride, absolutely nailed it. Can't take that away from it at all. Unbelievable. But I was lucky to get through to the final. And then we start to sit down for the tracks, right? We're looking at the gates. And I was like, there's no way that these boys are going to watch me go around the outside all night and take away my gate 4, you know what I mean? They're going to have to, right? Badger's going to take 4, and I'm going to be stuck on 3 with a little bit of a dodgy start or something. Count my lucky stars as 4, by the way. So, sat down on the laptop, and I just thought, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. Go out there and win it. And I said that to myself. Go out there and win it. And the rest, as they say, is history. Hads didn't know what was coming. I was around the outside. He could see me, but he wasn't too sure. And then I think just that little straight, I straightened the bike up towards the front of the line. And I think that saved me to be the champion. So, yeah, well chuffed, to be fair.
It was definitely you were definitely hunting for the whole race, and it was lovely to watch, and that because you could see that you had no fear in what you were doing, and you were having fun. So it kind of flowed as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I do want to take this moment, though, just for 2 things. Number one, shout out to Craig and Speedy, because I know they got a lot of flack for this track. I actually don't think they've ruined it. If anything, that overpowered outside line has become more even, and my race with Hads proves that. So I'd like to do a little shout out to them. I'd also like to dedicate the win to the Phoenix 14 boys, because I think without them and that season, I probably wouldn't have had the track knowledge to go out and do what I was doing that night. So to the boys in the Phoenix team from S14, the unbeatables, I just want to thank them as well.
Definitely got your experience and that to fall back on to give you a bit of thing. But I think even without you, and that you would have done quite well because he had the mentality to go for it.
It's my kind of track, though, isn't it? I like a track that can go high, wide, and into the dirt and hope for the best. Felt a little bit like Chris Harris on the which one it was? It was one of the one of the finals he was in just recently, where he went so wide out the outside, he didn't think he was going to pass him, and he did.
Heppell with his bomber instincts there.
Get it
that's
out and
brilliant.
pin it, man.
Heppell, when you were going into that last corner, that last lap, were you like dedicated to be on the outside line, or were you thinking, do I cut back here or do I just stay high, wide, and handsome?
High, wide, and handsome. To be fair, I knew that if I'd cut back, I probably wouldn't have caught Hads running at the line. I must say he was rather gentlemanly, because if it was me on the inside of Hads, I would have just pinged him into the fence and took the win. To be fair, so he was very he gave us, he was very gentlemanly to give me that space. But yeah, I was always going high and wide. It was my plan all the way through the night. Just keep it up in the dirt, hit that patch on 2, and just make it stick.
Nice.
Loved it, man.
Sound
Absolutely loved it.
of Hads gently kicking himself.
Oh mate, that's just. I think when I watched it back, I think it was lap 2, and I missed bend 1 and 2. I missed the corner a little bit, and looking back, that's probably the littlest of mistakes. But I can't really.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always coming. I could see him every lap going over the start and finish line. I thought he's getting closer. Lap 1, I thought, yeah, I'm winning here. Lap 2, maybe just ahead. Lap 3, not sure. And then, to be fair, I should have probably gone out and blocked him going into the last lap. And if not, I tried it in the previous race, I think, with him, and I got no man's land on the corner a little bit, and luckily I got hit forward by JC to get back in the lead. But I don't think I'd have done anything different, to be honest. And we both stuck to kind of what we knew, what we practiced, and it was at 0 point. Yeah, I'm not even going to say that number again. But
So 0.1, 0.013,
what?
I think it was.
Yeah,
That's
it's just, and obviously we saw Tank put the picture up straight away in chat afterwards. But Badger actually thought that I'd won.
Yeah.
In chat as well.
Wow.
Until he looked, he was like, "What?" But no, that sticking, both stuck to our guns, and that outside just worked that little bit better for Mr. Heppell in that one, and fair play, because I got nowhere near on that outside, absolutely nowhere near. So to do that was a great. It's a great race, to be fair. So hats off to you, mate.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I mean, the meeting was a lot of fun all the way through, me and KFC came to clash as well. He absolutely knocked me out. Thought he was back in the boxing room with me, I tell you. Like, the way he hit me, I just felt like I was so mad when I came back off the out the server. But yeah, no, I genuinely had so much fun in that meeting. It's been a long time since I've had that much fun in the meeting, so I want to continue that form into the rest of the season, because yeah, I've got some more titles to win. You know what I mean, boys?
Definitely do that with that the attitude.
Storm's brewing.
Confidence is key, man.
I will ask one question. Hep, what's it been like being in the Storm camp this year? You seem to be doing really well so far. Just what's the feeling like in the camp before matches?
I mean, they're a great bunch of lads. That's the thing. I think the vibe's really good. We've gelled together really well. Banter always flows as well. It's been really, really nice to be with the world champion practice, because we all know what Ryan's like. He's probably, there was a quote from somebody, and I don't know who it was, but someone said that Ryan can find grip from anywhere on the track. And he is so annoying because he is so good in training. But I kind of feel like that's helped me as well, because he likes to beat me up a little bit. I'm not going to lie, and that little bit of, oh, well, is he going to block me there? Is he going to block me here? It's giving me that little bit of extra racecraft, you know what I mean? So kind of helps a little bit going forward. But no, I really, really have enjoyed being a part of the Storm this year. It's been great fun. And as I say, we got more titles to win, boys. League's not over yet, so don't get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying, Chester?
No, we've got a tough semi-final second leg to come with the Wolves team changes, so it's not over yet.
Of course.
I would have been confident we had enough points to go through, but with Limo and Unknown in the team now, it's going to be a lot tougher than it was when we went in the league. A lot tougher, and we just scraped through then, didn't we?
Oh, that was a hard night for me, to be fair. I couldn't get on with that track at all, so I need to get practicing for that. But Unknown is one of those riders who I've known for quite a while, and for Wolves to get him in is incredible because
Yeah,
he is one
two
of those
really,
boys who just
really good signings.
flies. Yeah, unbelievable. The both of them are. But I've had some I've had some times where I've sat and watched Unknown and think, how am I all the way back here? And he's like on the other side of the track. Doesn't make sense.
It was a very good night, and that for the Reserve Riders Championship, and hopefully, and that you'll get to defend it next season, Heppell. It all being well, unlike me.
Depends how it goes, because
Mm.
I think looking
Well,
at the averages at the minute.
Hopefully, you won't be a reserve next year.
Yeah, looking at the averages at the minute, it's I might not even make the reserve berth towards the end of the season. So
Wow. Heppell for
well,
number
we'll have to
one.
wait and see. I'm
Heppell for
I'm
number one.
not going to catch TJ or Ryan anytime soon. I give them a run for their money, but I'm not there yet.
We move on to the next part of the show, which is a very important part of it, which is a very important topic to talk about, which is regarding obviously mental health and having a conversation. And with this, I shall hand over to Had to talk with Heppell.
Thank you, Tank. Yeah, as we all know, mental health. It was Mental Health Awareness last week, I believe. Obviously, we're just going to talk about it a little bit, as obviously it's good to talk. And I'm just going to do a few words, a little brief, before we get into the interview with Heppell. Obviously, mental health is a state of well-being that affects how we think and feel, and can determine how we act. And obviously, it can be graded from what good to poor, I'd say. And it's it's being able to cope with daily life and not being happy all the time. And around 1 in 8 will experience some mental health problem. You've got all different. There's all different kinds: anxiety, depression, at some point in your lives. And obviously, us as men, we're less likely to talk about things because of this. And I actually looked up a couple of things, and only 36% of referrals are being taken by men, which is quite shocking, really. How it's grown especially in the last decade or two, and we're reluctant to seek out for that for whatever reason, whether it be stigma, masculinity, not wanting to feel weak or embarrassed, and showing emotion to anybody, and people, not being able to be a burden. And people have said they wouldn't feel comfortable talking to their GPs about this kind of thing, and because they're worried that it'd be a waste of time. And so we're going to bring in Heppell, who we know has had his own struggles with mental health, and talk about his experiences. Obviously, you see from the meeting chats that Heppell, as most of you know, comes across as a happy-go-lucky, always looking fun, enjoying himself kind of guy. But obviously, what we don't see is like the background to, what happens after the game. A lot of people come into the game, have fun, and once that's gone, the environment, people obviously feel differently. And we like to bring in Heppell now and tell us about some of his experiences, and ask him where his problems with mental health actually began.
Oh, appreciate it, Hads. Thank you. Look, first things first, and I think the most important thing for me here is to the person who's listening to this right now, just know that if you are struggling, you're loved. You're needed in this life, and I think you might be yet to see it, but your presence matters more than you realize. And if you are struggling, just please don't carry it alone, because that problem shared is a problem halved is a very true statement. Reach out and talk to someone that you trust, or even just a good friend. Professional help is out there too, and it all can make a difference. You know, you, the listener, if you are going something through anything, you deserve that support, you deserve that healing, and you deserve that hope to move forward. It isn't all doom and gloom, and I know that's how it comes off. And I want everybody who's listening to this to understand that this is just a man of a story. It's not about me. It's about the message. It's about what I've been through, but it's about the message to you men and women, to be fair, who are out there and just are struggling. And I need to make sure that that's hit home. So I'm going to start this off a little bit because there's a few things I've written down here that I really want to go through with you boys. And also, as I say, you, the listener. I was 23-year-old, right? And I think even before then, I probably had some sort of issues. ADHD was a big issue in my younger years, which, if people don't know about the ADHD cycle and the way it works, essentially a mood swing for a normal person may be +10 to -10 on a middle of the scale. Whereas for an ADHD patient, it can be +50 on a high and then ±50 on a low. And I think that audio clip they played at the very start just shows that difference. You know, on that level, had that win, got really excited. Away goes that emotion, and that's my high, you know, absolutely hitting the moon. But let's go to the other side. I think when I first realized I was struggling with mental health, I must have been about 23. And it was because of my first real heartbreak. And I know that sounds daft, right? Plenty more fish in the sea, you hear all those stigmas. But when you've been with someone for the best part of 5 years, you sit there and you think, well, you know, this is a relationship that could go somewhere. You start to fall in love, you want to care for that person, and then when that person doesn't do it back, emotionally, you will feel some sort of break, you know. And I think that's one of the hardest parts. You show love, compassion, you open yourself up, you let your walls down, you give everything to that person. And on a love cycle with people, it's that love and care can also cause a massive pit. And I remember for the most part of that, I was self-harming, I was cutting, I wasn't eating, I was doing all these things. But at 23, that stigma that we talk about with men, yeah, is very much there. I'm a bloke, no one's going to care, I'm not going to bother. I'll just keep cracking on, keep trying to deal with it the way I did. She emotionally abused me with calling me fat, which doesn't sound like it should be a big deal, right? I'm a big guy. But at the time, really did hit me hard because of the way she was going on about it and what she was actually saying through that. So, and she also cheated on me a lot. She told me at the end she really wanted to hurt me, you know. And if it wasn't for, so some of you may or may not know, but I am a man of faith as well. I'm not going to go into that too heavily, but the pastor who is at the church that I was going to at the time actually got in touch with me and said, look, just checking in. I told him what was going on and he came and got me. So again, we talk about reaching out, right? We talk about reaching out and reaching out to anybody. Yeah. This man had no idea what was going on in my life, but he came all the way up to Scotland, picked me up and brought me back to Newcastle, you know, straight away down. In all honesty, that probably saved my life then. But moving forward from that, we moved to around about 2019. Now, 2019 was an interesting one because obviously we've got COVID on the horizons, we've got all these different things going on. I think it actually might be in 2018, 2019. I'm not too sure. My grand's passing was probably one of the hardest things that I had to deal with. I've had grandparents pass in the past, but actually from that grief that you felt, yeah. And this is another important thing for the mental health side of things. If you lose somebody, yeah, please grieve properly. Do not be afraid to cry. Do not be afraid to let your emotions out. Do not be afraid to do any of that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I didn't grieve properly. I had 5 women, my mom, my sister, my 2 cousins, my auntie, and I was in the front with all of them at the service, and I sat there and I was really upset. Obviously, I've just lost a grandparent who loved me dearly, who used to go up there every 6 weeks holidays and all the rest of it. And again, that didn't hit me until like 3 months later. So depression, anxieties, grief can hit you in a way that you'll never ever really understand until it happens. And again, there was other things going on. Financially, I was getting worse and worse, you know. I felt like I was failing in life, failing in a lot of things. And I was with Haley at the time. Many of you guys know Haley. And I was planning on going up to Scotland, taking the car. And that was it, really. Over a cliff and see you later, have a good life, you know what I mean? That was the plan. And me and Haley are sat and we were talking, and she was, you know, she got really upset because she thought at the time we were splitting up. And the words that she uttered were, "I don't want you to leave me." Now, I didn't speak to Haley about any of this, and I should have, but she didn't know what I was planning. Those 4 words were powerful enough to pull me out of what was going to be, again, one of those times where I just felt like there was nothing left at all. And it sucks. But you know, that was a mistake on my part for not grieving properly, because I could have possibly prevented, you know, part of it anyway, going forward. So grief is a hard thing. And if you do grieve, go to your loved ones, cry, have a cuddle, you know. I think this whole stigma of men being men is what causes this problem. We have to be burly, we have to be gym hitters, we need to be this, that, and the other. It's not the truth. The truth is we're human. We're flesh, we're blood, we've got a heart, yeah? And that's the hardest part about all of this. You need to remember that. Moving on from that, you know, I've put in here saying that many men grow up believing that they must be strong, silent, and unemotional, making it harder to ask for help when we're struggling. The pressure of man up often leads to bottling up pain, avoiding therapy, and suffering in silence, as I keep calling him Shad, as Hadlington had alluded to. Break the stigma really does start with an honest conversation. Vulnerability, reminding every man that we're seeking support is a sign of strength and not weakness. And I think that's so true to everything that's gone on. Because with me, I didn't want to seek that help in my younger years. Yeah. Didn't want to do it when I was in that toxic relationship. I didn't want to do it when my grand's passing. That could have ended me twice. I have a scar on my wrist, right? And that scar was inches off of the main vein that runs through that part of your body. Doctors, my mum found me. I was a much younger age, actually. My mum found me, and she wrapped up my wrist, straight to hospital, sorted out, and that. She didn't know what had happened. I told her a lie. I tried to end it then as well, but I told her a lie. She took me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for like a day or two, I think it was, and patched up. And that scar reminds me every day that I'm worth it. But sometimes that doesn't even work, and this is where having that conversation comes in. So going into the present day, yeah, and coming up to 2025, and it's, you know, even though I haven't mentioned what happened in 22, 23, 24, there's still days where I was sad for no reason, couldn't understand it. There's still days where I struggled. But I have got, to be fair, because of the way that things have gone and the roll of the dice for me, I have managed to put a support system around me that's unbelievable, and I'll get to them in a second. As I said, life lately, it's been dealing with major financial stress, managing ADHD, and not fully understanding the feeling and why I feel like I'm feeling at work or I'm feeling at other places, why I wake up in the morning feeling sad and upset for no apparent reason. So I've spent 5 years working at EE, as some of you know. That got tough there, and work stress is another thing that you can definitely say that will, you know, be a part of that mental problem that you're having or upset. Because again, it adds to the pressure. There wasn't the support there that I needed at the time. And then obviously up to now came the collapse of my relationship. 8 years, nearly 9 years together, suddenly it was all over. Now, I say suddenly, I know there was issues. I know I did things wrong. And again, my ADHD being unmedicated has caused various issues within my past relationship. But again, having to watch somebody that you've loved and cared for 8 years quickly move forward, quickly move on, that's caused that's caused a deep wound, because it's difficult, because again, it's like that grief, right? It's like that final crack in the armor that breaks everything. I don't blame the person that I was with. Yeah, I don't blame her for wanting to move forward, because she had a hard time of it. She needed support and love as well, and I tried to do everything I could. And to be honest, it wasn't enough, to be fair. But again, we go back down that road of stigma. I didn't really want to talk, introverted, pulled myself apart. I think I might have actually even completely disappeared off of STS's group chats for about maybe a week or two. Hadn't trained, hadn't done nothing, because it was just, that week was so tough. About 6 to 8 weeks ago, as of this day, I walked into, I hit a wall. I needed help. And I did walk into a doctor's for the first time in many years because of this. My arms were bleeding. I'd been self-harming again as of recently. And again, it was all because I was crying at 4 a.m. I was up crying. I was like, I just couldn't handle the emotion of the losses that I'd had, the failures. And failure is like a key word for me. It's always been a key word for me. I hate failure. I hate failing, but I always feel like I fail. I fail in a lot of stuff. It's not true. It's not true. It's definitely not true. But when your head's in that space and your mind's not there and the voices are talking to you, that's it. What do you do going forward? So I was crying at 4 a.m. and I didn't know what to do, so I ended up picking up a knife, and that was it. Walked into the hospital the next day after going to work, and the rest went from there. Really, there was crisis teams and everything else, but nothing really happened on that day. So I went across and I sat in this remembrance garden. Now, as I say, most people don't know that I was a man of faith, but I went down to that remembrance garden because it was a safe space for me. And what I want to say is one night, sitting alone in the dark, yeah, the cuts were there, they'd all been fresh, nothing. And I was sitting there again, contemplating, like, what's the point? There is no point. And this wasn't that long ago. A friend of mine called Ben walks around the corner. He's actually one of the pastors as well. He finds me sitting in this garden, right? And has this conversation with him. And prior to that as well, I had Chelsea and Kim, who are two close friends of mine, having conversations with me, throughout that day, checking up on me, making sure I'm okay. And this is when I'm talking to you men and the listener about support systems, having people there who will be there for you, because it's important. It's so important. It takes a second to pick up your phone, 30 seconds to drop a text. Are you okay? So as I sat there with Ben and we were talking through things, the moment that he reminded me of something, and it was that I'm not a hindrance. I wasn't alone. Your friends, your family love you more than you'll ever know. And you matter no matter how hard the feelings are. I said it at the very start of this, yeah. To the listener listening, to the lads in this chat, and anybody else, you matter. You're needed. You are loved by more than you'll ever realize. And I think it's such a difficult thing, because you'll sit there and watch the happy-go-lucky me in the chat. Realistically, my life in the last 10 years has been riddled with demons, if you want to call them that, voices, mental health issues, feeling like I wasn't enough, failing on a constant daily basis. You should never feel like you want to drive your car off the edge of a cliff. It should never come to that. I do at this point, and I'm going to wrap this up here, and if the boys want to have a chat, or if you want to say anything, I'd love to hear. I just want to say thank you to Kim, Chelsea, Ben, Haley, Shads, Mrs. Shads, and Vicky, and all my family, and other names that I haven't got on here who messaged me during those difficult times. Because, again, without you guys, without the conversations at Berwick with Shads and Sarah, without the conversations with Kim and Chelsea, without Ben finding me on that night, without, Vicky, who was one of my friends who, came to the gym one night when I was struggling one night and I was going stupid in the gym, and I didn't care about what happened to me. I just wanted to take out all my upset and anger on the weights. Actually, became very dangerous that night. There's so much going on, and there's so much that you guys. I could sit here for another hour and have this conversation with you, but I just need you to remember what I said at the start of the show. Okay, to the listener, to the person who is listening, I'm going to say this one more time. Just know that you are loved. You are needed in life. You might not see it yet, but your presence matters more than you realize. If you're struggling, please do not carry it alone. Reach out and talk to someone who you trust. Professional help is out there, and it can all make a difference. You deserve the support, you deserve the healing, and you deserve the love going forward. And yeah, I guess, boys, that's what I've got to say.
Heppell, fully respect what you've just said. Obviously, it's obviously not easy to come out and say what you have, and hats off to you. Full respect for coming on. We've been talking to try and get this topic on the podcast for quite some time now, and obviously now is that time. And as you said, that is total respect for coming on and speaking up about it. I mean, if it helps one person, I mean, it's done its job. And yeah, fully respect for coming in and saying what you have. Obviously, I know some of the other people in the game as well have had problems in the past. I don't know if anybody else wants to come in and add anything in while we're obviously on this topic, because we know it's tough to talk about. If not, that's fully understandable, and we will continue.
I'm just getting my composure from that. That was I'm lost for words, Heppell. I really am, mate. I'm not one that's usually lost for words, but hearing that story, mate, I'm actually stunned, mate. I really am, because I've been in the same boat. Like, I've had breakdown relationships. I that's why I go to Cardiff to try and clear my head, and it's just it's wow. That was some really, that was from the heart stuff, Heppell. And I really do appreciate you coming on and being a part of it and saying what's been going on. And mate, hats off to you, mate. Hats off to you. I really do appreciate it.
The emotional grief of a relationship can be one of the worst. It really can be. And the hardest thing about that, especially when it's long-term relationships, so you open yourself up to that love and care of another person, you just feel unwanted, I guess, unloved, and it really does mess your head. You know what I mean? But the thing is, Dan, and I'll say this to you, yeah, for any woman who breaks your heart, you're still loved, because I love you, yeah, and I'm not afraid to say that. I love Shads, I love Hads, I love Stephen, yeah, I love every single one of the lads in this game, because this game's done more for me, yeah, than people will ever realise. It's not just a 1 hour distraction. I had a chat with Ryan not that long ago, we had a good conversation. I would never have met Ryan if I hadn't come to this game. STS is more than just a game to me, and that's why I get so passionate about it, because it's a brotherhood, it's a community, and I've said that before, it's a community. But you are loved, you're all loved, no matter what happens. And that's why it's important.
Wow.
Good man.
Well, moving on, weren't going to have a rider of the week this week due to there only being one meeting, but I thought it was so well deserved that we just had to have one. So cut the crap. This week's rider of the week for his superb performance in the Reserve Riders Championship is Adlington. Would you like to announce it?
I would indeed, Mr. Shads. Our rider of the week for this week will be none other than our guest tonight, Mr. Heppell.
No way, man.
Take the applause, mate. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it, mate.
He's been
You
on
know
at me
what?
for weeks. He's been on at me for weeks, but he's actually
Forget-
won something, so I can actually give it to you now.
I love that. So thank you so
I said,
much, man.
when you deserve it, you'll get it, and you deserve it.
Thank you so much. You know, forget the league
Congratulations,
titles
mate.
I've won, yeah. Forget the league titles. Forget the Reserve Riders Championship. I've made Shaz's Rider of the Week. That's it. I'm done. I can retire a happy man.
Brilliant.
Nice
Thoroughly
one,
deserved,
man.
Heppell. Thoroughly deserved, mate.
Brilliant.
Thank you. I really genuinely do appreciate that. That means so much. Thank you.
We'll get an extra big cuddle for the first meeting at Berwick next season. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes, you definitely will. I don't know
but
what Mr. Shaz will say.
Don't let Mrs. Shad see, because she's already got suspicions about me and you.
I'm gonna do it in front of her. I think. I'm just gonna run
She
it.
says this. Oh, your boyfriend's here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, thank you, genuinely, thank you. That's amazing.
Moving on to our next part of the show, it is looking back at a past meeting, and it's on this day with Shaz. So over to Shaz.
On this day in STS history, this week we go back 14 years to season 6, the 25th of October 2011. And a KO Cup tie between the Shawfield Spartans and the Glasgow Cowboys. Some of you who haven't been around that long won't know we used to have double headers now and again, and this is one of those occasions. We would finish meetings well after 11 p.m., which is unthinkable these days. And as you can see, there were quite a few familiar faces on both sides. You've got Ads and Stephen 101 on the Spartan side, and someone called Adam, who's now you know as the Smiler. On the Cowboy side, there's Rico and Bobby, who Bobby wasn't riding that night. Also on the Cowboy side, there was Harry Max, who was the oldest player in the league at that time, even older than Hobnob, believe it or not. That's the classic Cowboys side I remember racing against at Glasgow with Alf Bagpuss, Henry W. and Rico. The Red Car Warriors actually won the KO Cup that season, beating Sittingbourne Storm in the final after a runoff between Stefan and Lango when the scores were level over 2 legs.
Am I right in saying that Gothic Slider is Big Slow Kane?
No.
No, that was P. I think it was PJ Norwood or something. Is that him?
Yeah.
PC Norwood. That's who it
PC
was.
Norwood. That's the fella. Yeah, another one who changed names after a couple of seasons.
He went into like a gothic phase, and it kind of failed spectacularly.
Paulie Jazz. I think I mentioned it before. His son does cycle speedway from Ipswich. John Marshall is a fellow I knew from Rye House. Played the game for a couple of seasons. Cookie, I don't know. That's not Crookie. That's Cookie. I don't know him.
Mm.
And
Paulie Jazz.
we all know
who's his son?
his son rides speedway, cycle speedway. Must be early teens now.
Yeah.
But that was a classic Glasgow Cowboys nasty side. Really on at you all the time in chat. In the banter was really, it was non-stop all through the meeting, and they were really quite off-putting, to be honest.
We shall move on to the next part of the show, which is the league previews. Our first meeting next week is on Tuesday, the 28th of October at 8:30, and it's between the two pointless teams so far this season, between the Wolverhampton Wolves and the Milton Keynes Cowboys. Obviously, the big talking point going into this one will be obviously the addition of Unknown and Limo replacing Sizzler and Irwin. Obviously, after this mean one of them, if not both, will walk away with points. Chester, what is your thoughts on the meeting?
This is must win for both teams. Obviously, they're going to give it all they got. It'd be interesting to see how the two new signings for Wolverhampton fare in their debut match if they both ride. Of course, Limo and Unknown coming into the side, strengthening it somewhat substantially with the caliber that Unknown and Limo are. For the Cowboys, as I said, it's must win for both. I think Milton Keynes now need to sort of, start getting more points on the board because that's a team that can score decent scores away at home and away. You got to look at Wolverhampton on a home form. Let's say Unknown, Limo, Super Dip can score points, Bewitcher can score points, JC can score points for fun. Hobnob is like a powerhouse at reserve, and it all depends obviously what how the lineup goes ahead. It's going to be a good match. I think someone is going to get a win from this. I don't think there'll be a draw. I think looking at it, if all of those riders are racing, I'd probably say a home win, probably by 8 or 10 points. It'll be close, won't be one-sided, but I still think that Wolverhampton will have an advantage with the new signings that they have if they ride, of course.
I'd agree with that. I'm likewise favouring Wolves right now. It's a must win for both, but I think they've got the edge just on their signing. So it'll be an interesting one. Heppell, what do you think on the meeting and your score prediction?
Oh, I'm so bad at score predictions, I'm so bad at it. But both sides. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. Wolves were hard when we went there the last time, and they just lost as known at that point. Sad to see them go, to be honest. But having that Unknown and Limo in, I think that pips it. I don't think that Craig, Bobby, Speedy, and no disrespect to Big Phil Caney, he's my brother. I love that guy, but yeah, I could see what maybe 5-point win to Wolves, 6-point win. I don't even know if that's possible, but anyway, I can see a Wolves win.
Anything's possible.
Honestly, that's why I don't do score predictions, because I'll say something stupid like, "Oh yeah, it's going to end 2030."
Well, I know if you've seen my predictions I've done on that, so anything's possible.
That is true. But yeah, I think Craig and Speedy haven't really hit the ground running as much as I thought they would go now. Speedy's been very good actually, but Craig's just been, Craig's been Craig. I love the guy, but after the first meeting I seen at Milton Keynes, I just was like, oh, that happened. So, yeah.
As a team, they haven't really clicked at once. Are they getting there?
They look good though at the start of the season. On paper, you would have thought, I mean, they know the tracks, they know the lines, they've done all the tiling. But yeah. Wolves to win for me. That's the way I'm going to say that one.
And then on the same night, we also have, at the exact same time of 8:30, we have the Peterborough Spartans up against the Ellesmere Port Panthers. Shaz, what are your thoughts on this meeting?
Be licking their wounds, I think, after that mauling at Hastings. But I think they'll come into this wanting to consolidate their position at the top of the league and retain their 100% league record. Panthers on a 2-meeting winning streak, which is very rare. It doesn't happen very often to them. They'll have some confidence, I should think, but I think this is going to be a little bit too much for them. And I'll expect Marecki to have another good meeting. He's been in great form this season, and he's managed to step up to number one without any issues. Cappy also has been putting some good scores together. And if Tank, if you can do a little bit of practice maybe before the meeting,
I'll try.
you might be able to score a few points. You might be able to score a few points, and obviously yourself, Chester, whether you're riding or not, we don't know. I don't expect you to tell us. But I think if you look at the Spartans team, if you take out that last meeting at Hastings, which they were totally destroyed, I think they're going to have way too much for the Panthers. And I can see the Spartans winning this by double figures, maybe 12, 14 points, probably maybe even more.
Well, do something about that. Heppell, what are your thoughts on the meeting for yourself?
I mean, to be fair, my heart says I'd really love to see Panthers win it for a couple of reasons. Number one, the boys and girls and that. No, it's not girls. Wait a minute, what am I doing? The boys in there, yeah. They've run hard this season, and I think, they deserve something going forward. They've done really well to get to where they're at the minute. And I'd love to see Panthers get absolutely destroyed. Because let's face it, again, we have a league title to win at Storm, so that's the way I would look at it. But my brain would say that this is going to be the Spartans won't go, to be fair, because after, like you say, after the defeat they've had, you've got the runner-up of the Reserve Riders Championship as well, and
Hey.
had to get it in there.
Can I just say though, Dan, that the worst possible outcome will be if Spartans slip up and the Dragons win the league.
Dragons aren't winning the league. I don't know why you're saying that. Storm's going to have it.
We'll never hear the last of it.
Just remember, Heppell, who won the league for the Dragons last season. Don't forget.
What? He didn't beat anybody.
He didn't beat me.
Just remember who won the league for the Dragons last season. Heat 14, Heppell and myself.
He didn't beat anybody.
I mean, let's not get hung up about who beat whom and all the rest of it, right?
I honestly think this one now. I think the Panthers. Obviously, we've had them in the knockout cup at home, and obviously they've already rode on our track once, so that will probably help them. I don't think Dan rode in that one.
Correct.
If I'm right.
Are we gonna?
And I think Birchie only scored a couple of points, and I think he'll be a lot better than that this time if he rides. So
that was his first meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna?
Licking the wounds. I'm ready to go.
Are we going to see Alan McNally versus Chester? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, the rivalry.
Oh yeah.
I'm keeping it very tight-lipped.
You beat him on
player as well,
Sunday.
Chester.
What was that?
You beat him on Sunday. Advantage Chester.
Yeah, we'll see.
Playing down his chances there.
Anyway, yeah.
So, and then our third meeting of the week is going to be Dragons against the Storm on a Thursday, the 30th of October at 8 o'clock. And Hads, which way do you see this one going?
This is going to be a tough one for me. Dragons are unbeaten at home. Storm are unbeaten away. 7 points the Storm I think I've got from the 2 away matches so far. I had a bit of extra time as well to practice the track, which we didn't get after the GP and SCS round. So I think it'll be I think it'll be closer than their previous home meeting for sure. But I still think the Dragons. They were all really dialed in that night at home, and I still think the Dragons will get a win. I think Storm can get a point now. I think it could be closer. I think it could get down to maybe a last heat. Storm maybe getting a point or not getting a point. But obviously, with riders like TJ and Ryan and Lofty at number 4, and obviously our reserve riders champion, Mr. Heppell, at number 2, if he rides in the top 4 ride as well. But I think they're going to have to start tracking method as well soon. So maybe see Heppell or Shads maybe missing out. We're not too sure. But
Well,
I know
breaking news.
Method—it's not been around.
Breaking news. Everyone's available.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Everyone's available.
On a
So
track like Hastings,
yes, everyone's available and wants to ride. So someone's going to have to miss out.
I've already got my sick note in for the league match.
So, and obviously, Heppell, obviously you're in the Storm team and that. What are your feelings going into this match?
I mean, Dragon last year, so I always want to get one over the team that I was racing for last season, since they had the audacity not to pick me this year. Obviously, yeah, I'm looking at you, Squall. I'm looking at you. Going forward, though, I would probably, what I'd say is, and this is a message to my team, Shaz included, I believe that we have the team that can win the league. We slipped up once, that's fine. These things happen. We will not slip up again. And I would implore us to go out into that meeting fearless, yeah, and actually just take it to them. Give them the meeting that they need to have there, because at the minute, Skull's not an idiot. He's a very calculated gentleman. And he picked that track for a good reason. He knows he should be able to take maximum points at home, yeah, which can help you win a league title. So I want to see us go in with passion, fire, ready to go, and training's going well. I actually quite like the track. It's a nice track. But yeah, Storm to win this one, obviously, bit biased. But we can't underestimate the Dragons either. They have been solid all season. You know, Badger's been on fire. Reese is well, it's not brand new to the game, but new for this season again. And again, he's flying as a newbie. David Northia, you cannot count him out any day of the week. Squall, we all know what Squall's like. Cam has been flying in the last few seasons. Wolfie on his day, I mean, me and him have quite a good rivalry, and I would like to put a couple over him as well. And we all know what 101's like. So, but I want our boys to go in and give them the battle they need. Just as simple as that. Let's have them. Let's have them.
Oh, well said. Well said.
I'm gonna like a little bit of a trend here. I think this is definitely going to be the toughest test for Dragons at home, and I'm gonna predict it's going to be Dragons' first loss. It may be narrow. Like,
I always knew I loved you, Tank. I always knew I loved you, Tank.
there's just something that's telling me that it's going to be a loss. I don't think it's going to be massive. It's going to be so tight, and it could come down to one race. I don't know which race it'll be, but it'll be one race that would probably decide it. And we'll see next week if I'm actually right or not, which, with my form, probably not. But, I mean, strange things have happened.
Hey, I told you, Tank. I told you, man. I got some more titles to win. That league title's coming our way, man. I want to go back to back this year, so that's why I'm calling out my guys, man. You know, you got to do it. Take the
And
fight to them. Let's hammer them.
let's not forget Ryan defends a silver helmet as well.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting one.
Ryan will be any of them, man.
Well, he's already raced there this season. He guested for the Dragons. He guested for 101 in a meeting. I can't remember who it was against. I think he was their top scorer that night.
Yeah, for like 6 points or something like that.
Yeah,
against
yeah.
Panthers, I think, wasn't it?
Was it against
Yeah.
Panthers? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he obviously likes the track.
So, moving on to the final part of the show, and we have the BGP and SCS draws for round 3, and with that, I shall hand over to Chester to talk us through it.
Yes, thank you, Tank. Well, we have the BGP and SCS round 3 taking place at Northside in a couple of weeks' time. One change for the BGP: TJ Griffiths is out, being replaced by Ads MFT. So we're going to have a good match there with Ads coming in. And without any further ado, we're going to have the draw for the Sliders Grand Prix Series, as we always do. So first up out of the hat, it will be Stefan goes in at number 1. So normally Stefan's picked sort of mid to bottom order, but straight in number 1. So on to number 2, and it will be Speedy. So already a tasty looking opening race with Stefan and Speedy. Who joins them in race 1? And it's going to be Ads MFT. So already 2 Spartan riders in the opening race. Hopefully no team orders in this. Number 4, it will be Stephen 101. Wow. That is a cracking opening race. That is brilliant.
Wow. Wow.
That has fun written all over it. Number 5, it will be Dret Lotka. Of course, Dret Lotka still yet to have a team for this season. Hopefully we'll see him racing in the league this season before it's over.
A lot of big names.
Yeah, like this one right here. Number 6, Racer Ryan, world champion and current silver helmet holder. So he goes in at number 6. Joined at number 7, it will be another fast rider. That is Cam for the Dragons.
Boo.
Still some very big names in this meeting still to be drawn out. Next up, number 8, it will be our very own Tank. Number 8, Tank.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
So on to number 9, and it will be my Panthers teammate Cappy. So two Spartans in a race. Sorry, 2 Panthers in a race. My apologies. So number 10, it will be Scotty B. So a former Panther. Still a lot of big names to come up. Yeah. Number 11, it will be Craig. Going in at number 11. Go on, pick Lofty. Go on, pick Lofty. Not quite. It's going to be Squall going at number 12. So some really strong heats coming up in this one. Heat 1 definitely. So Badger, Mareki, Lofty and Fakey left. Out first it will be Lofty. Goes in at number 13. At 14 will be Badger. So Badger going in at number 14. Number 15, is he going to be Feki or Mareki? Let's see what happens. And it's going to be Mareki going in at number 15, which leaves the other non-signed team rider for this season, Fakey, going in at number 16. Cracking races there, isn't it? It's going to be well good. So that is the draw for the BGP, taking place on the 2nd of November. So, yeah. And, of course, we'll have a full in-depth preview of this meeting, of course, on next week's programme. But already some taste-looking heats there. Moving on now to the SCS draw. And we have another change. We have Bobby from the Cowboys being replaced by Bewitcher. Bewitcher, the current leader of the BGP series, I might add. And the wild card is going to be Putty 83, the wild card for round 3 at Northside. So, without any further ado, let's crack on with the draw. Here we go. So, in at number 1, it will be Panthers captain, Capesy. Here we joined at number 2 by
Ooh.
JC. JC at 2. Number 3 is going to be STS media member Ben Thompson, and also the referee as well. And they'll be joined in Heat 1 by Bewitcher, current leader of the STS series. So, he's in number 5. Alan McNally.
Super Alan.
Super Alan.
Yes, come on.
Hey, here we go. Some dude named Hadlington's at number 6.
Look, we want Chads and Heppell now.
That'd be cool.
I want 10, 11, 15 of, you know. Any of them will do me.
Hey.
No,
Ask you shall receive.
no
Number
way.
7. Number 7 will be Heppell.
I wanted 3 outside gates at the end of the meeting, man. Ah,
So next up, it will be.
No way.
Oh, look at that! You're all
I
in the
didn't get the
same
lottery on,
race.
man. I didn't get the lottery on now.
Oh, brilliant! Hadlington,
You like-
Heppell, and Shaz,
Wow.
all in the same
What a
race.
boy.
So number 9 will be Skyrider. Brilliant. And next it will be Reese 02. Hopefully Reese has got his power all sorted out. Next it will be the wild card. Hutty 83 goes in at number 11. Number 12, it will be Le Sorcier. Of course, Le Sorcier was the highest average final group during the draft lottery. Number 13 will be David No Fear. Number 14, it will be old Hobnob himself. So that just leaves 2 more to go.
Westy's got to be 15 at 15, isn't it?
Asking you shall receive.
Your predictions tonight have been off the charts, by the way.
My God, yeah, Adlington. What's the numbers for next? What's the numbers for lottery?
There you go.
I don't know. Wish I'd won.
Yeah.
There's some good opening races in this one, I think, as well.
And then there we go. Rico goes in number 16. So that concludes the draws for the BGP and STS rounds. And with that, I'm going to hand back over to Mr. Tank.
Thank you very much. Some very good races in both. Said last week, before everything, I said that this could be a defining round for both series. And seeing them draws, I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I'm looking forward to lining up against Paddleton once more. Should be fun.
Inside, outside?
Oh, and Shad's Heppell on one side and Shad's on the other. Oh dear.
I sense an all-four back in that race.
Alan's off into the distance.
I know one thing. Paddleton will
Inside.
be behind me this time.
Oh no, I can't do it twice.
I'll see you in the final, mate.
I've just looked at some of the heats. God, some of them they're hard. Some of them heats.
Mm.
What an opening ride, though. Jesus. Helen,
I'll do it.
and Heppell.
I'll do a shout here for a second for you boys. Breaking news. I think this is the first round where I'll be able to practice properly before I actually. Because every night these are on, I'm normally at the ice hockey, so this will be the first night I'll be able to practice properly for actually the meetings. So.
Brilliant.
We shall go into a full preview of of both rounds on next week's show. With that being said, I think that's everything on the show tonight. And
Can I just take this opportunity for one last thing? Is that all right?
yeah, go for it.
Little shameless plug. If you do need any Pokemon cards, Pokemon Northeast live on TikTok on your Tuesday nights, you rip them, ship them, you send them sealed. You know what to do. Let's see everybody in that chat. Come on.
Fair enough.
What a boy.
Wow.
Did we give permission for advertising?
No.
What you on about, man? You said I sponsored the podcast tonight. It was written into the contract you made us sign and everything, man.
I should have read the small print.
Genuine pleasure, boys, to be here, though. I really have enjoyed it, and thank you very much for having me on. Genuinely, has
You've
been so
great,
much
man.
fun.
You've been great.
Thank you for that. Much love to every single one of you. And remember, it is okay to talk. So do it.
Next week's episode preview, we have quite the show next week. We have the
Wow.
Week 9 League reviews. We have Shad's Rider of the Week. We also have another On This Day with Shad's. We shall also be having the pairs and the reserve pairs track draw on next week's show, as well as previewing in full the BGP and STS round 3 at Northside, as well as previewing the Spartans, Cowboys, Dragons, Wolves, and Storm versus Panthers. And that brings to a close the very important episode that we obviously covered the topic of mental health. And I'd like to personally thank Heppell for coming on and sharing his story and his thoughts, and obviously it's okay to talk. Of course, if you've enjoyed everything you heard during tonight and past episodes and want to get involved, you can do so by looking at our social media links like the website, the forum, Discord, YouTube, where regular YouTube highlights of meetings and obviously this All Four Back podcasts are put, Facebook for the live streams, and also on Twitter. And with that being said, I'd like to say a good night to Chester.
Good night, Tank. Thanks for hosting tonight, mate. And great to be on back on your screens again.
And it's a good night to Ads.
Good night, all.
And it's a good night to Shads.
Good night, Bubbles. Good night, everyone.
And we shall see you all next week for another episode 84, as we go hurtling towards the 90s. Until then, we shall see you then, and good night.